Let's find out what those important gaps are. Hopefully our correspondent can address that and answer that. Pedram Khadadari is our correspondent there over in Geneva. Pedram Khadadari, we just listened to the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry say that there's no deal because there's some important gaps that remain unresolved. What are you hearing and what do you have for us?
Okay. The fact that all the foreign ministers are flying in itself is important. The next meeting that is scheduled to happen is a trilateral meeting between Iran's foreign minister, EU Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton, and the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. That's the upcoming meeting we're going to have. The difference is they're talking about, when I talked to Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, which is one of the top negotiators here, he said Iran is willing to negotiate on its uranium enrichment, the levels, the way, the differences on that. But he said Iran's red line is uranium enrichment. I don't know what they meant. Probably they still want to talk about the enrichment. The enrichment fact is one of the important factors that is impeding the talks. But they wanted Iran to halt its enrichment, which Iran has utterly rejected. And so most likely the talks will be focused on reducing levels of enrichment to around 5% and to increase confidence building to prove the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program.
Well, I don't know about you, but Pedram, when I'm looking at how the events are unfolding with the foreign ministers of these countries, 4 countries flying in, of course, different interpretations on that. But it sounds like these negotiations are pretty much down to the wire because it's 2 days of talks only. We only have a number of hours left. I understand there's a press conference with the EU's Catherine Ashton and Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif scheduled for 9:30 p.m. Is that how it is, that this is going down to the wire here in terms of any breakthrough?
Exactly, as you said, like the security atmosphere here has changed. There was security going all over the place. So we're going to see upcoming press conferences of probably with Ms. Ashton and Iran's Foreign Minister Zarif. Everything has changed considering all the foreign ministers are coming in. The talks were supposed to be deputy foreign ministers levels. Now they're foreign minister levels. So it's showing that some sort of agreement is going to come to ink. That's what Iran's foreign minister said early in the morning, that Iran is hopeful of getting something on ink today.
And finally, I don't know if you can answer this, but is there any chance that if there's still some kind of deadlock that these talks may be extended for another day, or is that something you just don't have any information on at this point?
I asked the same question just an hour ago from Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. He said there's a possibility that the talks will go to a third day, which is tomorrow, because everything is starting so late. Over here now we're at around 4 p.m. and Secretary of State John Kerry just arrived like 30 minutes ago. So the talks are going to start happening late afternoon. Nothing much happened early in the morning. There's a possibility of going to a third day exists quite high.
Very well. Thank you very much for that. Pedram Khadadari there talking to us from Geneva. Thank you very much. Obviously, Pedram is going to keep us up to date with any new developments, and we'll make sure to bring that to you.